Good morning, Bhargav. It's Tuesday, the 4th of July. Here's a heads up brief for today. For the Southeast Asia production, we covered 21 issues. In North Asia, we covered 9, and for Australasia and the Pacific Islands, we covered 5. In South Asia, we covered 16 issues, plus the major issues in Europe, Middle East, and Africa.
Hey there. Thank you. Can we move on to the major issues today?
Yep. So the US government issued a travel warning advisory urging Americans to reconsider traveling to mainland China. This is over concerns of arbitrary law enforcement actions and wrongful detentions.
All right. Thank you. The US has been shouting about such arbitrary actions by Chinese government for a long time. This doesn't come as a surprise or as news for that matter.
Right. In Indonesia, a deputy speaker in the Indonesian House of Representatives said that between 2020 and 2022, about 5.3 million tons of nickel ore was smuggled into China.
How would you see this specific trend of smuggling to China and other countries? Do you see this as a major leak in the economic pipeline within Indonesia?
Yeah, definitely. And this just speaks to the kind of rampant corruption within Indonesia that would allow such a large volume of nickel to go to China, which is China is a very big investor in the nickel industry in Indonesia. There's a lot of Chinese investments in Sulawesi, where a lot of nickel plants are.
All right. That's interesting.
Right. And in Thailand, the Move Forward Party, well, this is just breaking, but the Move Forward Party's 8-member coalition have successfully nominated the leader of the Pracharat Party as the House Speaker today, just earlier today. Right now, the vote for the deputy speakers is ongoing. Apparently, one will be from the Move Forward Party and one will be from the Pheu Thai Party. This comes after these two parties have been unable to reach any sort of resolution on the House Speaker position. So this is good for the coalition, but it still remains to be seen whether they'll have enough senators for the prime ministerial vote, which is expected in about 2 weeks.
All right. So some positive developments at the end of the tunnel after all, but we'll have to see if this calm actually holds over a period of time. But then how do you see this playing out in the wider coalition as well as governance?
Right. At this point, it still seems unlikely that the Move Forward coalition will be able to get 376 lawmakers to install their leader as the prime minister. He still has a couple cases against him. One media owning case in which he stands to be disqualified, and the verdict on that is supposed to come out soon. So while the coalition did have a little bit of a win by being able to nominate the House Speaker, they're far from out of the rough seas, if that makes sense.
All right. Thank you.
Right. In South Asia, according to a Reuters report, Indian oil refiners have started paying for Russian oil with the Chinese yuan. This shift in payments comes amidst the imposition of Western sanctions on Russian oil due to the ongoing war in Ukraine.
All right. Yeah, India has been between the two major powers, the West and Russia, for a long time, and India has been under pressure from European Union as well. Recently, one of the cabinet ministers demanding sanctions on India. Now that they are shifting currencies to trade and to buy Russian oil, India is walking a very tight rope at the moment, and the pragmatic foreign ministry as well as the trade ministry they seem to be figuring out more ways to deal with the crisis, and that's a positive sign for energy security in the country. However, they need to be cautious about the geopolitical implications and wider relationship with the West as it develops.
Yeah, definitely. And also in India, regarding politicking in Maharashtra, the National Congress Party leader Ajit Pawar became the deputy chief minister of Maharashtra after joining the Eknath Shinde-led government The Eknath Shinde-led government came to power after usurping the Shiv Sena led by Uddhav Thackeray recently with the help of the Bharatiya Janata Party.
So more drama in the long-running musical chairs that is Maharashtra government. Now, this doesn't really surprise me at all, given that the NCP, and more specifically Ajit Pawar, has a history of changing sides. Last time he switched sides and joined a coalition led by the BJP, and he switched back to his home party, that is Nationalist Congress Party. So it's a long-running musical chairs. However, what is a big quagmire is how the administration in probably India's richest state, that is Maharashtra, keeps on going without feeling the brunt of all the musical chairs which happens. Whether the government breaks up or the party breaks up, the administration and the pro-business atmosphere continues. So that's something to wonder and to understand how it changes from state to state. It's not the same when it goes to Eastern India.
Yeah, definitely. And in Europe and the Middle East, in Russia, former President Medvedev said that the standoff with the West will last for decades and that the conflict with Ukraine will be permanent. He said that the tensions between Russia and the West are much worse now than they were during the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis.
It is very hard to disagree with him, given that the conflict has taken a very nasty turn in Ukraine. So we'll have to watch out how this unfolds in the coming years, and it is worth looking at how the trajectory is going in on the ground in Ukraine. Such bitter animosity won't end in a few months.
Right. And in Israel and Palestine, 9 Palestinians were killed and around 100 others were injured by Israeli security forces in the West Bank yesterday. This is some of the most intense operations ongoing in the recent months, and it's led to a lot of opposition from Palestinian resistance forces also.
All right. So this is something to watch closely, especially when there is a pushback by the Palestinian forces, especially the militia, the Hamas, the Fatah, and all the renegade factions within them, how they will respond and if they will launch counterattacks into residential areas in Israel.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out on it. That's a brief for today. Part of anything else from you?
Nothing else from my end of that. Thank you.